We got some big changes coming for MiniWarGaming. I'm super excited to talk to you about those and announce those today. But also, really quick, if there are things that you wish that we would be doing, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear it. Even if your feedback is rather critical, it's okay, as long as you're not being really, really mean. So I want to talk about narrative campaigns. I want to talk about spectacle content. I want to talk about lifetime vault memberships and all sorts of other things. So we have been making videos now for 17 years, I think, or at least the business has been around for 17 years or more. And that's quite exciting. I'm happy to say that we're still here. Obviously, we've gone through our ups and we've gone through our downs, and we've struggled financially several times. We've prospered financially several times, and we're still here, and we will continue to be here for as many years as possible because I need to feed my kids. I got 5 of them. There are so many kids to feed, and groceries are so expensive. Anyways, we have some fun narrative campaigns coming up. So we're making some big changes to the MiniWarGaming Vault. I'm going to do a follow-up to my last video where I talked about that, and also just into content in general for what we're going to be having on the channel. Because we got to change with the times, we've got to refresh, we've got to come up with big new ideas so that we can keep you entertained and keep bringing as many people into this super awesome hobby as possible. If I can just really be real for a second, really be real. I was talking to my wife last night, and I was saying just how much role-playing games and miniature war games have brought so much joy in my life. I'd say like outside of like spiritual stuff and like family stuff, role-playing games and miniature war games have been like the single biggest contributor to the happiness in my life. The social connections that I make, the fun narratives that we tell, just all of that has been so spectacular. I am so grateful to companies like Games Workshop and Wizards of the Coast. I know that it's easy to demonize them, but let's face it, they built those industries so strong that we can have all sorts of other companies in there. And I want them to continue strong because they recruit so many new people into the hobby by trying to make things as accessible as possible. And say what you will, criticize how you will, but Wizards and Games Workshop, and there are plenty of reasons to criticize, they have brought us so much joy. I was even saying this, I was looking at the price of like a Neurolictor, and in Canadian it's like $82, and I'm just like, yeah, it's so freaking expensive. And yet I look at it and I think, but you're buying more than just a Neurolictor. You're also buying the ability to have all these people to play against and the events and all that. And you might be thinking, oh, he's just being a GW fanboy. I don't know, maybe I am, but I'm just so happy to have this hobby in my life. And so it's great, it's awesome. And so we have narrative campaigns coming up because I think that's one of the biggest things that Vault members have been asking for is more narrative campaigns. And we've already been doing them. We've been doing them regularly. The plan is every 3 or 4 weeks. We have a brand new one that comes out. We put the first episode out for free and the rest of them go out weekly in the MiniWarGaming Vault. A big thank you also to all the people who took me up on my last offer in the last video where I was a little bit more, it was a little more like, oh, things aren't going great. We had a lot of people reply and sign up to the Vault and take advantage of the getting 11 narrative campaigns for free even if they cancel offer, which I'll still put down in the comments below or in the description. But don't grab that yet because I have something else I want to talk about in relation to that. So we are currently working on many narrative campaigns. Luca filmed an entire Lord of the Rings campaign that's based on the events of the Two Towers. He did that last week, so you can expect to see that coming out in the next couple of weeks. And we have plans for a Last 100 Season 2. We're going to start to film that maybe next week. Steve has been working really well to magnetize a bunch of Deathwatch so we can do another Deathwatch narrative campaign, but this time bringing back the random item generator. For those of you who know what that is, I'm sure that'll get you excited because that's been like one of the biggest critiques of our latest Deathwatch campaigns is that they missed the random item generator so that Deathwatch guys can end up with all sorts of weird gear and stuff, and that really adds to the mystique of the Deathwatch, or just, you know, the cool factor, walking around with Necron weapons or Eldar weapons or Orc weapons that they happen to scavenge, because it's okay for the Deathwatch to use Xeno stuff. That's part of their mantra. A little hypocritical, but that's the Imperium for you, so it's pretty awesome. We've also got, oh geez, what other narrative campaigns do we already have in the pipeline or that have already been filmed? Like obviously the Space Wolves versus Orcs one is well on its way to almost completion. There's still a few more episodes of that. We've got, oh no, that one's done. Sorry, the Red Wolf one that I filmed with Dave and Tommy, that one's still going out in the Vault, and people are enjoying that. And so, yeah, we have all sorts of campaigns. So the idea is that in every given week, you have 2 episodes of narrative campaigns if you are a Vault member. Not the same narrative campaign that's like On Tuesdays you get one, on Thursdays you get the other, or whatever days we manage to get them out. And then we have post games, behind the scenes, and all sorts of other stuff for our Vault members as well. But I'm not just here to talk about the Vault. I want to talk about our free content as well, because we've been doing battle reports for a very long time. And I think it's time that we start incorporating other type of content. And I'm not talking about just like painting tutorials or simple hobby content like that, because that's really well covered. We have so many good YouTubers out there who are bringing their A game, making fantastic battle reports, fantastic hobby content. A lot of them are struggling. That's one thing that really bothers me. I see so many companies who are, or YouTube channels who are posting up their videos of like, hey guys, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And I've always seen the community rally behind them, but I wonder just like, what is the solution to all of that? We want all these hobbyists to succeed because they bring us such fantastic content. And yet there's the big problem of too many subscription services out there, right? That's what we've been facing over the past few years. We were the first to really do it. And so we were able to grow rapidly. But then as more and more subscription services were offered, either by other YouTubers or Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or whatever it is that you watch in whatever country you're from, that really starts to eat into the budget that everybody has. And then you have things like COVID that really kind of hurt everybody's budgets. And it's hard to know exactly what the answer is. For us, the answer to that has been to diversify, do things like Ravage Star, open up the Forge for 3D printing and manufacturing and all of that. And that's working. It's slow, it's building up, but it's working. I think that's a big thing. But that's hard to do. It takes a lot of capital in order to get there. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the Forge growing, and we've got one-page rules in Titan Forge and tons of terrain in there, and there's new lines being added every month, and so there's lots of stuff in there, STLs and printed for you as well. Ravish Star, of course, it's in production right now, taking longer than I want it to, but it always does. We got a new faction coming out that's 3D printed, all sorts of fun stuff. So with all of this, the main content that we're doing, the free content, is going to change. So right now we're doing our best to push out as many battle reports as we can, but we're finding that I don't think that's exactly what you guys want. And you might think, oh no, that's what I want. It can be because you're one of the people that do actually watch them. But we're watching our views decline in our battle reports. And you might think, well, that's because you're not doing multicam and super edited stuff like play on tabletop and tabletop tactics. And you're not wrong. Maybe that is a solution. It's just a very expensive one. It's not where we want to put our time and our money and our efforts. We'd rather put it into other stuff like narrative campaigns and manufacturing and making games and all of that kind of stuff. So instead, what we're going to try doing, and we're going to start posting these soon, is we're going to try to focus on more spectacle content, trying to do stuff like present you guys with videos that nobody else can make. And that's because the one advantage that we have over the 17 years is we've built up a big collection of terrain and miniatures. We've got a beautiful building that we're inside of that is expensive and to have. And so that's obviously something that's difficult to do. And this is not bragging, by the way. All of these things are actually putting a lot of pressure on us and our overhead. And so I'm just like, we need to use these things that are costing us so much money and really be able to dig into that and find ways to do that. So we're going to bring you things like apocalypse games and big, massive showcases of collections and awesome terrain builds, and you're utilizing the upstairs where we have like the big gaming space so we can build up even larger spectacle content. I guess I'd call it like spectacle content, or for lack of a better word, like viral videos, but that's not an accurate way to put it. It's just more like where each video is way more interesting. And that does mean that we're going to be publishing less and less battle reports, not none. In fact, some of the big content will be battle reports, just on a larger scale or something a little more interesting than just being like, hey, we're just going to play Tyranids versus Space Marines today, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. It's just not really getting the results that we're looking for anymore. So you can look forward to that. You can look forward to all sorts of new content. Also, if you're still with me at this point, we are going to shut down lifetime Vault membership sales. So we've had those left open for a while, so anybody that wanted to could go to miniwargaming.com/lifetime, pay once and never pay again. And that's been great. And if you are still wanting to get one, you can do it until this coming Friday at noon Eastern time. So Friday, October 4th. I'll put the details in the description below, or you can just go to miniwargaming.com/lifetime. And the reason we're closing it down, even though it does generate really good capital, is because we're looking to really grow the vault long term. And that means we need recurring customers. And so I didn't want to just close it without telling you, because some people would still want to grab it. And to be honest, it would actually be helpful if just a handful more people grabbed it, because we could use just a bit more capital to help with some of the expenses and overhead as we shift and transition all of these things. So don't feel bad doing it. In fact, you would be doing me a favor by getting a lifetime vault membership. Even though technically it'll make me less money in the long run, it helps to solve some of our immediate needs, which are immediately needful. And so it's totally up to you, though. If you want to sign up for the vault using the one link to get the last 11 narrative campaigns for free, even if you cancel, that would be great, because if you stick around and you keep paying on a monthly or yearly basis, that'll keep supporting us. Or if you just want to try it out and then cancel afterwards, that's up to you too. Or if you want to grab the lifetime membership, get access to all of that, then that is still available as well. And in either way, we do have our magnet giveaway too. So the next, however, left out of the 200 people who sign up to the vault will get a free pack of magnets that will ship anywhere in the world. You do have to pay for shipping, but it's not too expensive. Because they're just shipped in a little mailer package. So it's 100 magnets. They're really useful. Anyways, this is not intended to be an ad. This is more intended to be like a behind the scenes talking about these things. So I really am interested in your feedback, though. If you were to look at what we have, and we got our big collection of terrain and miniatures, we've got our studios, we've got access to people coming in all the time to play as guests, and of course, all of our staff. What kind of videos would you like to see us do? Like something out of the ordinary. Like, so what big things would you love for us to show off or to do really interesting videos of? I'm not looking for the answer of being, well, I really wish you just did more, 40K content that focused on match play. It's like, that's fine. It's just not our thing. Our thing is more narrative. It's more spectacle. It's more about really making this hobby come alive for everybody. And regular battle reports can do that, but it's just not what we're interested in doing right now. So think big. What would you do if you were me and you were running MiniWargaming? What would you do? And be as critical as you want. You don't have to be a douchebag about it, but you can be as critical as you want in the comments below. And I would love to hear your feedback. If you're a Vault member, then actually hop onto our main site and leave the comment there so I see that you're a Vault member, because then you can give specific feedback as to what you'd love to see in the MiniWargaming Vault, because obviously I want to listen to our paying members as well. Anyways, that's about as much as I have to talk about right now, so you can stay tuned for more narrative campaigns, spectacle content. There's still going to be battle reports too, just not as many. You can stay tuned for more releases for the Forge and 3D printed and 3D printable stuff. And you can also take a look out for more Ravish Star stuff, content, and otherwise, there's lots of fun stuff coming up that I'm very, very excited for. Very optimistic about the future of MiniWargaming, even though we've got several dragons at the door trying to burst down and destroy what we've built. I'm willing to go out there and keep fighting on a daily basis and pull out my sword, do some damage, and then retreat and recover and go back out there and just keep doing that. I'm going to battle to the end and make this thing work, because I really believe that this is such an awesome hobby, and I want to continue to be part of it and really be an ambassador for just how much fun all of this can be. And yes, I'm growing a goatee, and because I want to be the evil Matthew version in the Star Trek alternate universe. So in case you're wondering what this coloring around my face is, it's the best I can do, okay? It's the best I can do. Thank you so much for all your support. Happy wargaming.